And welcome into Indian Time from the Muskogee Media Newsroom. Jason Salzman along with Muskogee Nation News editor Mr. Sterling Cosper. And we are with you today to update you on some recent news here at Muskogee Creek Nation, as always with Indian Time. But we want to thank you for joining us here on our exclusive online series. And Sterling, we cannot talk about anything else before we get to last night's emergency session of the National Council. You were in attendance. Tell us a little bit about the greater development that came out of that emergency session.
Well, the first two bills on the agenda were the ones we were looking at. The first one was regarding a formal opposition of a bill in Congress regarding the porch band's trust status.
Right.
Basically, that passed unanimously. Representative Robert Huff was excused from that session. There's a lot going on with this issue. I recommend to folks watching out there to go ahead and read our top story in the July 15th edition that's online. Yes. And we just got the print copies back. Or you guys also did an interview with Chief Floyd.
Right. And let me just take a minute to point people to this Saturday's episode of Native News Today. Do not forget to watch, because Sterling, not only are we going to show the interview that you referenced with Principal Chief James Floyd, but also Miko George Thompson, the ceremonial Miko of Hickory Ground, and we have those two interviews. But we also have sort of a catch-up of the porch issue with Muskogee Creek Nation. We did a bit of a retrospective up until now, sort of a timeline, plot point to plot point retrospect of the entire issue. So it sort of gets people caught up all the way to Chief's comments, Miko Thompson's comments about the issue. So it'll be a great watch for this week. And as you said, the Muskogee Nation News, always a wonderful reference if you want to read up on the issue as well. So.
Yeah, it's been a long-standing, it's the dispute, I guess we can call it. So that's very good. You guys have compiled all the details to kind of get those that haven't been following up to speed. And these developments continue to happen. I mean, if you might go to our Facebook page, we've actually been sharing stuff from other outlets as they're following this fight in D.C.
Yeah, Indians.com has been there along the way. That's another reference for you folks that want to go online and do a little bit of research. Also, Indian Country Media Network. If you just do a straight Google search of Creek Nation porch issues, you'll be able to get quite a bit of news source on the material throughout the years. And like I said, it was one of the first things I worked on when I came here. So this has been a long fight, and it's been a long struggle between the two parties. And we're just seeing the latest developments on it now. We wanted to get you all the information and all those interviews. So we're doing that through multiple outlets. So you have the Muskogee Nation News, Muskogee Media, and of course this Saturday's Native News Today, 1 p.m. on Tulsa CW 1219. Speaking of Tulsa, Sterling, also big development out of the emergency session. Also some things on the agenda regarding the River Spirit loan agreement. What's going on there?
Well, it came out, the agenda was released, and folks that watched this a couple days ago saw that we were going to go ahead and follow up on it. When we read the draft bill, there were some concerns regarding work done by the project architect at the time, and also it said that it was going to amend the loan agreement, so essentially affecting the project completion deadline. A lot of folks wondered, well, does that mean we're pushing the opening date back? We've made all these formal announcements about the staggered openings for various facilities there.
Right.
The bill was sponsored by Robert Huff. He was excused last night. David Hill took point on introducing the bill, but they immediately went into executive session citing some proprietary issues. Sometimes citizens are able to stay. However, we can't report out of those sessions. In this instance, only tribal officials were allowed to remain from the executive branch and the council. So I followed up with the sponsors. Lucian Tiger and David Hill are co-sponsors on this bill. I wasn't able to get a hold of them this afternoon, but I spoke with Representative Barnett, and she basically explained that while the completion deadline might be modified, the opening date is going to remain the same. There's a lot going on with that, and I understand you guys have an interview with Chief Floyd tomorrow.
Yes.
About some various things, and that's going to be one of the things you try to clarify further with him.
We'll hit on that topic, and we'll make sure and get an answer, if he has one, on those type of things for sure. Anytime you get a chance to sit down with Chief Floyd, you don't want to just keep it at one topic. You want to try, you have him there, he's a busy man, you want to get as much out of him as you can about different various things, and I think that those are certainly things that we're going to discuss because, of course, the emergency session had a couple of hot items in it. So definitely want to get that addressed from the principal chief's office. Also, what we're working on is not just this or these news items here, but it's business as usual at Muskogee Media. Obviously, we're looking to get more information out to the people, to the public, to the citizens about the way our tribal systems work, what happens within them, just educating everyone basically on the entire process. And with that in mind, we wanted to contact the contract health services at the tribe because that's one of those departments where not only Creek citizens are able to, go to contract health and use it in our boundaries, but it's something that services outside Creek citizens, Cherokee citizens, people living in the Creek boundary. So those are the types of things that we will discuss and, tell the public because maybe not everybody knows about all of it.
Yeah, I talked about another involved subject. So you're talking about federal funds, so they don't always just immediately apply to Creek citizens, but we're trying to get an interview with some health officials regarding just basically how they manage those funds, those contract health, and make their decisions. We've been told that we're going to get one booked, but we haven't had a date set as of yet, so we're just going to keep trying to plug away at that.
Keep trying.
We, as you all know, a while back, the health topic was in the headlines a lot for us, and we've kind of wrapped up our big series on the reported deficit, but we're still keeping an eye on that program and any developments regarding it. Also, the housing audit came out here this week, so that's your formal inquiry with Chief Floyd tomorrow, so we'll get more with that.
That'll probably be the premier, topic that we bring out, just because it's such a big news headline with that actually being released. But like you said, we'll talk with him about a host of topics as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, Sterling, thank you for the time and being with me
today.
Me, you bet. Sterling Cosper there with the Muskogee Nation News, keeping you all updated with things in the paper. The latest issue on newsstands now. A lot of great content.
It's got our festival photo spread. Chelsea Rich and Mark Hill did an amazing job on something truly unique this edition.
Exactly. That's it's not your your grandfather's or even your mom and dad's old festival photo spread. This is good stuff, and those two work hard, as well as Sterling putting that together, and all of the paper staff did a phenomenal job on this latest edition. Also, remind you once again, watch Native News Today this Saturday 1 p.m. And stay up with us online, but you want to watch this weekend's episode. Going to have a lot on the porch issue, bringing you up to speed, and then hearing from your principal chief and Miko George Thompson of Hickory Ground. So a lot of great things on the show this week. Hey, stay with us on all of our social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We want to see you interacting with us. Muskogee Media Facebook page. The Muskogee Nation News has a Facebook page. We do at Native News Today. So all kinds of outlets, all kinds of opportunities for you to stay connected with Muskogee Media. And, of course, our premier site, MuskogeeMedia.com, will have you updated and up to speed on all things Muskogee Creek Nation. It's been Sterling Cosper and Jason Salzman here in the Muskogee Media Newsroom. We'll see you next time on Indian Time.